Calling to order the regular meeting of the Wheeling Plan Commission for Wednesday, July 22nd, 2020. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Commissioner Pulinova present. Commissioner Sprague.
Who?
Sprague.
Commissioner Sprague?
Commissioner Yedinek.
I think that's me here.
Yes. Commissioner Thompson.
Here.
Commissioner Creech.
Present.
And Chairman Johnson.
Here.
Thank you.
And Commissioner Kalis is absent with prior notice. Ms. Nyes, any changes to the agenda this evening?
No changes.
All right. We'll move right on to citizens' concerns and comments. This would be anyone here to speak on something that's not on the agenda, which I don't believe we have any. All right, so consent items. Docket number SCBA 20-16, Elsa's 735 North Milwaukee for approval of a wall sign. And docket SCBA 20-17 for T-Mobile, also for a wall sign. And finally, we have docket SCBA 20-20, International Hair, 765A West Dundee Road, again, for a wall sign. Do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
Commissioner Creech and Yednek?
Correct.
Commissioner Creech.
Yes.
Commissioner Yedinek.
Yes.
Commissioner Pulinova, yes. Commissioner Sprague.
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson.
Yes.
And Chairman Johnson.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to items for review. Docket number PC 20-10, minor appearance approval for changes to the building facade at 353 North Milwaukee Avenue. Ms. Nyes?
The petitioner is here because they've requested some alterations to the exterior of the building facade, and that will require minor appearance approval. That's all I have.
All right. The petitioner can come up. And state your name and business address for the record, please.
Rowan Zilber, 353 North Milwaukee Avenue.
And please explain what you want to do.
I was trying to paint the building like grayish color, grayish glue.
The whole building, just the front facade? What?
It's going to be the whole, not the whole building, 3/4 of the building. I'm planning to paint the back wall. So.
All right. I guess we can go right to the commission then. Commissioner Creech.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Zilber,
Yes.
I been out to your site, looked around a little bit. I see that you still haven't really lived up to our previous conditions from last year.
And those are,
It doesn't appear that those doors were ever painted.
I'm going to paint it with the painting of the building. It was no point to painting them because I'm not sure what kind of color I would paint the building to paint the doors.
But this was a year and a half ago.
Yeah, I washed them and they look better. It just got rusted again.
But our previous condition was to paint.
I'm going to paint it, but I'm going to paint the building.
I see you painted the bollards, but
Yes.
I see you did a little work on the back wall, some tuck pointing.
Yes.
I also noticed that you took down 3 sides of the trash enclosure, but not the 4th side. Was there a reason for that?
I talked to, what's his name, Steve Roberts, and he said it's okay. He come in, he checked it out, and he said it should be okay too. He told me it's okay to leave it. I can send you email.
Was there a reason why you left it there?
Just to keep the back of the property kind of just covered, I guess. I don't know. I have no reason. It was there, so. He told me it's okay to, he come in, he inspected it, and he said it's fine to leave it. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
What happened is holding because there's the ground, if I take it off, the ground would spill over on the parking lot. It's kind of holding the.
So the dirt is higher
landscape.
than the asphalt there?
Yeah.
And the fence is holding back the dirt?
Uh-huh. I asked him, he said it's fine. I'm like,
Okay. I also noticed that there was a number of vehicles on the south property line. I don't believe you were allowed to store any vehicles on that property?
I can store any vehicles that are not commercial.
No, I don't think that's the case at all.
That's
You'll
all
have to
vehicles
check
belong.
with- you'll
All
have to
vehicles
check.
actually belong to my business, and they told me I can store them as long as they're not commercial. And they have valid license plates.
Do we allow vehicle storages in that B3 zoning?
It's
I don't
my
think we
under-
allow any vehicles that can be stored on a property unless they have updated license plates.
Correct, and I
And they're a
thought
part
that,
of the business for delivery and/or coming and going. I understand that he's not allowed to store any vehicles at all on that property.
right, I thought per your special use, you were to store the cars inside.
I cannot store any commercial vehicles with the commercial. I got a notice for that, and I removed the vehicle that was stored there. I did not get any notification about any other vehicles to be stored there. That vehicle legally belongs to me.
I also noticed that you had a truck parked in the fire lane in the back today. Is that part of your business as well?
What kind of truck?
It was a white Ford pickup truck.
It's just a temporary. It was not parked there. It just parked there.
So all the rest of those properties all have up-to-date license plates?
Yes. I get tickets for that all the time, so I put all license plates there. They all have license plates.
Okay, I also noticed that you did some electrical work on the north side of the property. You have 2 new service weatherheads that look to be very recently installed.
I'm waiting
Is there
for
a permit
I'm
pulled
waiting
for
for a
that?
permit for that. Yeah, I'm working on a permit for that.
So you didn't pull the permit
It
yet?
should be part of the other permit, but they decided to separate them and make it a separate permit, so I'm working with the village to get a permit for that. They're not connected, they're just there.
I also saw that you have your trash enclosure or your trash container outside. That was supposed to be stored inside the property.
Because today is the garbage
Today's pickup day?
date.
And what about all the rotors and wheel drums and miscellaneous that was on the
They're
ground in
waiting
the
for the
corner?
pickup for the scrap metal.
So are you doing mechanical work on the inside?
They just left, that was one of the trucks that we repossessed, so that was on the top of that, so I posted on to pick it up. They're gonna pick it up in the next couple of days.
All right, so well, let's get back to your painting. So you understand that we don't really like to paint brick because of the maintenance issues. I know that there's a lot of new products out there that do very well if they're applied properly.
I mean, if you
There's
want
a
me
lot
to
of
paint the brick, I don't
preparation.
have to paint the brick. It's not, it's saving for me, I don't really care. There's nothing, it's just a piece patches of different colors. If you don't want me to paint it, I don't have to paint.
Well, your building is showing its age, and I know that you're making an attempt to make it look a lot
than it is
better.
now, so it doesn't matter what color I paint or what I want to do with it, it's going to look better than it is now.
Staff has recommended that you paint the whole building if you're going to be painting.
Okay,
It needs to be power washed first.
okay.
There's specific paint products that have to be used on masonry and your EIFS material that's on your front elevation, which are two separate products. I talked to a painting expert, and he said that the masonry would have to be primed first before painting, power wash, primed, and then painted, and there's special products that go along with that. So if you, I would like it part of the condition that you submit the products that you're going to be using along with your network gray color choice, so that that can be reviewed and to see if that's going to be acceptable for the rest of the commissioners here and/or staff.
It's gonna be acrylic outside paint.
I can,
Suitable for the outside.
well, like I said, there's, depending on the manufacturer, there's
It's a Sherwin
different
Williams.
products.
It's a Sherwin Williams
Well,
product.
Sherwin-Williams
I'm sorry, you guys-
requires a
you're talking over each other. I'm not
Lexan
able-
paint and primer and an Lexan XP exterior product for masonry.
Okay,
So it's power wash, repair, and damage any loosened mortar has to be repaired, the primer, and then paint. And then, like I said, the EIFS is a different product, so I don't know if you can use that same paint on the EIFS. So you might have to get a EIFS stucco type paint for that.
yeah, I talked to the Sherwin Williams store, they told me that's the paint that would be recommended for that.
Okay, well, like I said, I would like you to make a submittal so that staff can review it and see if that's the proper products for this endeavor, and we can go from there.
Okay.
That's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Thompson?
Hi there.
Hello.
So my only concern was about the brick being painted as we're discussing now. And I know that we've done and approved other things like staining the brick. That's a lot less maintenance. Have you looked into any of those options?
I can look into it, it's fine.
Yeah, it's just then that way you don't have to worry about the chipping paint. It lasts a lot longer. And we did recently approve another building that wanted to do a similar update for just the appearance of the building. And they went and they stained the bricks, which I've seen on a few residential properties, and it does turn out really nice.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Commissioner Yednick?
Thank you. Yeah, it's very difficult to follow the conversations here with these echo chambers. So I missed half of what the petitioner was trying to say. First off, I appreciate that you're trying to clean things up. I also went out to the property, and the facade definitely needs a lot of work. One of the things that was still supposed to have been done that staff pointed out was the landscaping improvements. And I guess there was some weeding done, but it's just grown back. So those were prior conditions. So I'm a little concerned that stuff that was agreed to earlier wasn't done. And if we let you go out here without a more complete plan, that we're going to be in a similar situation where the work that we thought is going to happen is not going to happen. My main question is why, and I don't think staff recommended you painted the brick. I think you want to paint the brick. I'm not sure who's recommending painting the brick, but why do you want to paint the brick? I thought it was clean.
More unique.
Let me finish
Okay,
my
no,
question, because that's where I was losing. You guys were talking over each other. I think if it can be power washed and cleaned up, I thought the brick looked like it was in fairly good shape. There was some mismatched brick, but I thought it blended well enough and that the color scheme overall blended. So are you dead set on painting the
No.
brick, or?
Absolutely not. I don't have to paint the brick. If you don't want me to, that's fine.
Okay, Marcy, can you clarify, is staff recommending the brick be painted?
No, staff recommended not to paint the brick.
That's what I thought.
Okay, that's fine.
That's what I thought, but I think it definitely needs to be cleaned up.
Yes, we recommended that it be power washed
Right.
and not painted.
No problem.
And the other concern, and I'll defer to Commissioner Creech, he's a contractor, has much more understanding of using the proper paint, but the color itself, why gray?
Do you have any preference?
Well, I was thinking if you don't paint the brick and just clean up the brick, you pick a complement. I thought the gray is not gonna wear as long. It's gonna start getting dingy and shaded looking, and I thought a complementary color with the brick, some kind of an earth tone or something else, if the brick is just cleaned up, I thought that would look a lot better. The gray
I
to
can look into
me.
different colors.
What's
You
that?
didn't- I can look into different colors. You didn't have any preference, that's why I said it's a gray. I mean, I like the gray, so.
Who said it's gray? What?
I said, I like the gray.
Okay, well, I mean, is there something about it that appeals to you? I just thought that, like I say, I would prefer the brick not be painted but it cleaned up and, any tuck pointing work that needs to be done, but, and then a complementary color with the brick, I thought would make the building look a little richer than I think the gray is gonna just show age quickly and staining. But I think I would prefer if you come back with a more complete plan on the whole step-by-step process of how you're going to prepare the surfaces and what the actual materials are going to be used, and maybe an alternate color, because I think it's not real clear right now what you're presenting, and I also have concerns in that some of the work wasn't done that was agreed to over a year ago, and I don't want to walk away without a clearer plan at this point.
I don't have to paint the building. It can stand like this all the time. I don't really care.
What's that?
I don't have to paint the building. I just want to make it nicer. I don't want to spend $5,000 to paint the building just to paint the building. It can be as is.
Wasn't the original occupancy, was it the plan where there was painting going to be done when we first reviewed this project? And they made a commitment at that time?
Not to paint the building at
I
that
don't
time.
think it was,
No.
I think it said they were going to paint the building at a later date.
The doors and the bollards, I think were the only
I can
thing.
paint the doors and leave building as is. I don't.
I thought we talked
If you
about
like it
the-
how it is, that's fine.
No, I don't. It needs work. If you look at the
I spend my
picture.
time to come here and they want me to paint the building, that's okay as well. Seriously, it's okay. It can stand as is. I can just leave it as is.
No, you can't. I mean, if we look at
Why?
show the as-is picture, please. The as-is
Well,
picture.
why not? You don't let me to paint the building. Why do I have to go over this so much stuff to paint the building, to make it look more presentable for me to rent the building? Why you make it more complicated for me to do it? I don't
I
understand
don't think
that.
I'm making it more complicated.
Yes, you do.
Because you're on the main street.
Okay, so now it
That's
looks
why we
better
want
than
it to look good.
than I wanted to do it?
Well, I think it's going to be cheaper
Because
if
you
you're
don't
going
have
to
any
power
preference.
wash.
I asked, is there any preference colors? They said no. So I choose the gray because I like the gray.
Who was asked?
I did.
No, I said, who asked preference?
I asked Steve, he said, is there any preference in the color? He said, no, you can paint whatever you want.
Well, now you're coming in front of the commission. So, I mean, if you want to be argumentative about it,
But
you're
if
not.
you would tell me that before, I would come with the correct color. But you don't have any preference in the color.
It's not a you. You never talked to me about it, so don't say you told
I
me
asked Steve, I
this.
thought Steve is kind of the person who I go to for. I talked to Marcy, she said he didn't have any preference in the building as well, in the color. If you would tell me before, I would come with the preparer, documentation, what color, what kind of paint, and everything.
I don't think color is really the issue here.
Well, yeah, I personally would prefer to see a different color I personally would prefer the brick not painted, the brick cleaned up, and a color that would be complementary.
That's okay with me. I don't have to
That-
paint it.
that would
I don't
be
have
my
to.
request,
I just want to
and I
make
wanna-
it nicer because it's totally different colors. It's all mismatched colors and different bricks where the windows were filled up, the door was filled up, and a totally different color. I just want to make it nicer. If you don't want me to paint the brick, that's okay as well. You just have to tell me that. I don't want you to paint the brick. I want you to leave it as is and paint the facade. I would do
I
that.
think that's what we're talking about now, but now you're just arguing about it. So
Okay, well,
I don't think I'm getting anywhere,
Okay.
so no further
We'll-
questions,
we'll
Commissioner.
do a poll on painting the brick in a second. Is that it?
I'm frustrated, so yes, that's it.
Commissioner Sprague.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner, Mr. Chairman. Good evening.
Hello, how are you?
I was going to start with something else, but you were just talking about the brick tones as far as colors. And it says right here in the packet that staff encourage you to power wash the brick and select a paint color that would complement the existing brick tones. Did someone talk to you about that?
Not really.
Well, it says in here that someone did.
Okay.
Did they or,
I mean, I don't know. I'm colorblind, so I don't know what complements the tones. I'm sorry.
well, I just
I
want to
mean,
know.
gray with gray complements everything. Or
If someone
you have
from
any
staff-
preference to color, that's just tell me, paint it the brown color. Because everything on the Milwaukee Avenue is brown. I would say, okay.
I just want to know if someone from staff talked to you about a different color.
No.
When you came before the board in January of 2019, and you agreed to the conditions that were approved, what happened to replacing or removing the railroad ties in the front?
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
The railroad ties in the front,
I did.
what
I
did you
replaced
do?
all of them.
What did you do?
I replaced them.
You
They were
replaced all of
broken
them
and everything. I replaced them, yes.
2 years ago?
Not 2 years ago, whenever it was after that, I replaced them. They were all of them on the front were replaced. They were all broken, but thrown out, and I put a brand new one where the sign is, yes. And I replaced on the sides.
I don't.
Is there a reason for all the condition of the parking lot as far as the weeds?
I just haven't got into it. Weeds, there's no weeds, it's just grass growing in some places.
There's quite a few.
It's only in the back, not on the front.
And then the trees in the back, were those supposed to be trimmed? Did you trim those?
I mean, I trimmed those, yes. I trimmed to the condition of what, not to kill the trees. Yes.
Last year?
Yes.
Okay. They need it again this year.
They're in the back, they're not affect any parking lots or anything like that. They're just growing on the back of the building, totally on the back and an empty lot.
Oh, I understand trees grow, but they also need to be trimmed.
Okay. I have not noticed anything. I mean, I have not, nobody.
Well, if you go
noticed.
back there, you'll see that they need
Yeah,
to be
but they're on the
trimmed.
back, nobody uses that space. It's just an empty space.
That's not the point.
Okay. What trees do you want me to trim?
There's some damage on the front building, on the concrete portion, the southwest corner. Are you planning on fixing that before you paint?
And southwest, concrete. Where is it?
Southwest corner in the front, on the south,
On the front?
there's, the corner of the concrete is, looks like maybe a car ran into it. It's broken, pushed in,
Oh, on the side of the building?
corner.
Yeah, I'm gonna fix that, yeah.
You're
before I
gonna fix
paint.
that
Yeah, yeah,
before you would
yeah,
paint?
Yeah. It's you mean concrete or it's the side of the building?
The corner of, the front corner.
Oh, on the building?
Yes.
Yeah, sure, I'm gonna fix that, yeah, definitely.
The only other question I have is, you know, a lot of these items, as the other commissioners have brought up, that were agreed to the last time you came before us, either weren't done or weren't done very well. And I just was wondering.
What
are you-
items?
What's that?
What items, can you please tell me? I think, because I talked to Steve, he said, you look at the property, he said, everything is done, you can paint. He looked at the property and he told me, that everything is completed, you can paint.
That's not exactly true.
I can send you his email. He gave me approved to go paint. He told me everything was
I gave you
completed.
an email with a list of the things.
I did all of that stuff.
Well, it included replacing the railroad ties, which
I did.
didn't look like they were.
I did replace them. They
There was
brand
a
new
lot.
ties.
I mentioned weeds.
Weeds grow. Maybe when you come in, maybe
But
the
you need to
landscaper wasn't
remove
there before, so they were there on Wednesday and they cleaned everything up.
The weeds that you have in that parking lot aren't from 1 week's worth of
I mean, the
growing.
weeds or the grass. It's like the grass and the seams, that one. Yeah, I was planning to clean it up in the next week.
Are you planning on improving or repairing the parking lot at all?
I did. I resealed the whole parking lot. And I painted and I striped it.
Because it's basically falling apart. The asphalt is coming apart.
I know it, I'm sorry, I don't have the funds. I would love to do it, but my taxes are way high on the property, more than I expected. It's the truth.
Okay, I would also agree with Commissioner Yednick on possibly painting the front with a color that would match the brick better, and then clean the brick well.
Sure.
If it's going to be painted, then, as Commissioner Creech said, the proper product needs to be
No,
used.
I don't have to paint it, that's fine.
Otherwise, we're going to have a peeling problem, and it'll look worse than it does now. That's all I have, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Blanova.
I'm not going to repeat myself with the front color, but I completely agree with other commissioners.
Any preference on the color?
Something sunny,
Excuse me?
beige.
Beige? Okay, beige is beige. Not my favorite color, but
I don't know.
Is that it?
Yes, definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I would rather see you not paint the brick.
okay.
Take the money that you save on that and fix up the parking lot.
No, it's not going to be enough.
Well, fix up part of it or something, because you got a lot of stuff
I
growing.
mean, I did a lot of it in the parking lot. I mean, it's cracking out, but there is nothing. I can kill all the weeds. I was planning to do it next week, to do it just to click all the weeds. It doesn't look that bad. There is no potholes, I fixed all the potholes, so it doesn't look that bad.
But it's only
I
gonna
painted and I striped it, and everything looks okay. I know it has some, but maybe eventually I would fix it. I just don't have the funds right now, absolutely no.
It's
I
only
can't.
going to get worse as that stuff grows.
I cleaned the weeds. I cleaned them last year, I cleaned them this year. They were not that bad because of the rain and all the heat and everything, they just started growing.
So like the one you see in that
Yeah.
picture near the front
It's
there?
the back of the building. Nobody usually goes there.
And the vehicles that were there, when I went through there, there were several that did not have any license plates on the front.
Which ones are those? There's
There-
one car with I'm gonna put the license plate later on.
There were two
There's one
trucks
car.
there that didn't have license plates. There was a mobile catering truck parked on the other side.
It's gone. It's with one of my clients. He just asked me because his car broke down in our parking lot. He asked me to keep the truck there for a couple of days. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. That truck is gone.
And
I know I cannot have commercial vehicles there. I know that. And I told him you have to get and you have to take it. He took it. It's not there anymore.
and you're saying now that all those vehicles have plates on them?
Yeah,
'Cause
I get the tickets from police station all the time, if it's not there. So I make sure that all the plates are there and everything.
Let's see what else. Well, we definitely need those man doors painted.
I will paint them with I painted all the sides of the doors because I know, but that's because they were very bad. The doors were not that bad, so I just left them, but over that last year, I washed them and they were clean. But last year, they just got rusty again. So I was thinking, I'm going to paint it with the building, I'll paint the doors. Because I don't know what colors they're going to be, so I'm not sure. If I paint it brown and the building going to be gray, then I'm going to look good. So I say, I'll wait until the color is selected for the, so now you told me not to paint, I'll paint them brown. It's not a big deal at all. I have no issue with that.
I'm not too concerned about the color of the front of the building, although it would be nice to have a contrast, that you could put in that stripe that goes across the top, something to make it stand out better. Whether it be beige and brown or gray and dark gray,
Okay, no, I'll make the color selection and I'll send it to you again. I don't have a preference in color. When you told me there is no preference, I choose gray because I like gray. If you have a different color in mind,
no,
it's just a color.
we normally don't get too involved with the
It would be
color.
better than it is. I mean, now it looks just, I can leave it white, just paint it the stripes and leave it white.
Yes, cleaning it up
It's
is our-
absolutely I have no preference.
All right, I'll just poll the commission to ask about painting or no painting of the brick surfaces. Commissioner Creech,
No.
Commissioner Thompson,
No.
Commissioner Yednek,
No.
Commissioner Sprague,
No.
Commissioner Blanova,
No.
and I say no as well. So,
But before we vote on the action, I guess I would really like to be presented, I'm going to vote no if we're just voting on what's in front of us. I would much prefer to have a much more detailed plan brought before us that we can take action on, including the color. I think color is an issue. I know we don't get into, but if this is the color that's presented to us, I don't think it's a good one. And I don't like walking away and just saying, the petitioner right now is like, oh, yes, I'll do this, yes, I'll do that, yes, I'll do that, but it's not a very clear set plan, so I don't know.
Can you give me details?
I don't know.
Can you give me the details?
Let me finish my point. Let me
understand,
finish.
but can you tell me what details would you like to
whoa,
see?
whoa, whoa,
Okay,
one at a time.
no problem.
I mean, that would be my reason for voting no, but a no vote doesn't reflect that reasoning, that I think we've sent other petitioners back when say we want a more clear plan on exactly what's going to be done, and I don't think this meets it at this point. So that's all I wanted to state. I don't know if the rest of the commissioners feel that way.
So my only thought would be that the only thing that they'd be coming back on would be color. So I'm not sure what other elements you would need if it's only going to be a painting of the corner. And if the condition is worded as the staff report has, that it be a complementary color and it has to be presented to staff.
I think Commissioner Creech brought up a good point about the application of the
Well,
materials, that it,
That's mainly on the brick though, because that has to be unique.
It's on the eaves as well. It's a masonry product as well. So, I mean, both conditions require two different types of application and different kind of preparation. I was going to make a condition that he come back with proper documentation on what he's going to do as far as preparation and what type of products he's going to use on the exterior of this building so that staff is comfortable with what he's going to do, so that we don't have a problem and have to go back every 6 months and complain to him that, his building is peeling.
Commissioner Creech, would you want that submitted to staff or would you want him coming back to the Plan Commission?
That's fine then.
No, that was a question of, or which one? I guess I wasn't clear if the submittal, would it be to staff or would it be to the Plan Commission? With the,
Well,
I would prefer,
I would prefer that he would come
plan.
back and make a submittal to us
Right.
And I'm sure that staff is going to review it before it comes to us, but yes, I would rather see him come back with precisely what he's going to do on this project, because the ramblings that we've got tonight is not very concise.
Just wanted clarification.
Any other comments from the commission? All right, so we agree unanimously that we're not going to paint the brick, but the condition will still remain that the building in its entirety will be power washed. The man doors, again, will be a condition, even though there's already an existing condition, but we will put it in again, that they be painted.
Something needs to be used to stop that rust, whether it's a primer or a paint that stops rust.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to just continue to rust through.
And the corner protectors as well as the man doors, by the overhead door opening and by the man door openings, which are those corner bollards. Those need to be painted as well.
All right, so looks like you're
What
going
about
to need to
painting of the rear wall?
paint.
Oh, that's all brick for you.
Yeah, that's,
all brick.
yeah, so we've eliminated the brick painting altogether. Just power washing, the doors and their frames. Do what you can with the parking lot for now. You know, get that stuff that's growing out of all the cracks. Get that cleaned out. What else do we need on this? I'm still concerned about the vehicles being stored there. They're all related to your business?
I think
Very-
we're going to have
very
to
much as
check
the
on that,
cars.
and we can follow up with our code enforcement.
Okay, yeah, please do. All right, so, we ready for conditions? Or, well, we're not,
I think it's whether or not the commission is comfortable with the color choice going to staff, color choice and product going to staff, or coming back to the commission.
I'm sorry, I can't hear.
It's whether, the next step is determining whether or not the commission, with the majority of the commission wants, whether to have the color choice and product come back to, go to staff for approval, or come back to the plan commission for approval. Because you, Commissioner Creech and Commissioner Yednick indicated a desire to have it be continued and come back. And I assume that Chairman Johnson wants to see what if everyone else is in agreement
Yes.
with that or not.
so do we want to continue this to, do we need a date on it?
Be August 26th.
Wow.
Probably going to be next year then.
Well, I think that's the decision that has to be made. Are we going to continue this all the way to August 26th? Or can we do this with a load of conditions on it?
It would more just be that I think the condition is the same, it's whether or not it has to get staff approval, or if they need to submit it to the plan commission. The requirement's the same, it's just who gives the approval.
Don't we have a meeting on August 12th?
That's the joint meeting.
Pardon?
That's the joint meeting with the board.
Oh, didn't know that.
Commissioner Sprague, your thoughts?
Continue.
Continue it. Commissioner Blanova?
I think staff can do that.
Commissioner Creech, continue it or let staff deal with conditions?
I think we should continue it, maybe give him an opportunity, maybe to get some of these other things squared away before he comes back.
Commissioner Thompson?
I'm fine with staff approval.
Commissioner Yednek?
Continue.
And I'm leaning towards continue myself, so that's like 4-2. All right, so we will need a motion to continue this to August 26th.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Yednek, Commissioner Sprague, and roll call.
Commissioner Yedek,
Yes.
Commissioner Sprague,
Yes.
Blanova, yes. Commissioner Thompson,
Yes.
Commissioner Creech,
Yes.
and Chairman Johnson.
Yes.
Thank you.
We're not printing anything.
No, I know, but you'll be in touch with
Yeah.
the petitioner?
Okay, that's it, right?
Yes. Thank you. All right, next up, docket 2020-15, variation to permit a 6-foot tall opaque fence within the front yard setback area at 916 Honeysuckle Drive. Commissioner, the petitioner here,
Yes.
come on up. And Ms. Nyes, anything on this before we start?
Just that this variance is necessary because he's in the unique situation where he has 2 front yards. So the side of his house is actually subject to the front yard setback of 25 feet. So where he now has this 3-foot fence in his, which looks like his side yard, is really a front yard setback because he's on this adjacent street, and he would like to put a taller fence, 6-foot fence, a PVC fence along this side, the back side of his fence, or his property, and also on the west side of his house. So he wants to replace all the fence with this 6-foot PVC fence.
Thank you. Anything you want to add to that?
That's all.
All right, I believe we have somebody in the audience.
This is a public hearing. We need to,
Oh.
read the,
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah,
This is
that would
the
be
public
nice,
hearing.
right?
I'm sorry, I forgot all
it's
about
okay.
that.
A zoning variation is intended to be a method of adjustment to equalize regulations where the zoning code has created an unnecessary hardship. A variation is designed to allow affected property owners the same rights and privileges that others enjoy in the same zoning district. In order to be granted a variation, a petitioner is required to demonstrate through testimony to the Planning Commission at the public hearing that their request meets the standards of the village code, including but not limited to how their individual situation is unique or unusual. Prior to public hearing, the petitioner provides written statement meant to show that their request for variation meets the standards established in Title 19. The Commission chairperson will typically direct that these statements be entered into a record without or a full reading of them at the hearing. Based upon the testimony and supporting materials submitted, the Planning Commission will make findings in support of or against the petitioner's testimony and report those findings to Village Board.
Thank you. That is,
Okay.
all right, we have someone, Mr. Mariner, I believe it is? Yes. Come on up. Good evening. For the record, well, I gotta swear you in. You swear the testimony you're giving tonight to be the truth?
Yep, I do.
State your name and address for the record, please.
Craig Mariner, 907 Weeping Willow, Wheeling, Illinois. I am the backyard neighbor of the petitioner.
Okay.
I have no issues particularly with the new fence going in. My only comment would be, he's only coming 8 foot off the building and then going to my yard this way. Where that 3-foot fence is up there, he's only coming 8 foot off the building and then going to the backyard, which I have a fence on my side that continues, so there's going to be an opening into my yard where there's no fence. My problem, I realize that this is his fence that he's replacing. I have no issue with that. My only comment would be, would the board or staff consider having him not come as far as the 3-foot fence, but another panel out to make that opening smaller in the corner?
Do we have a picture of that? Because I'm having a hard time picturing what you're talking about.
Part of the plan that was submitted, if you see where the black arrow is,
Okay.
from the end of the yellow to the street, there is currently his fence right there. My fence extends from the arrow to the upper left. So I'm going to have this little opening going into my yard where there's no fence. My problem, his fence is fine. You know, he's putting in his fence. I've enjoyed the security in my property by his backyard fence. So it's just going to change that little 17-foot area is now going to be open that I'll have to infill to keep it. If he can move his fence 8 foot more towards the street or whatever would be allowed by staff, he'd have a bigger backyard and I'd have a better, you know, less of a difference in fences because I'm not going to put in a white PVC.
Where's your fence in relationship to
this
this
is his-
picture?
That's my fence right there,
This is his
yes.
fence right here. And
It
so
ends
the
at the
new
corner.
fence is coming here, so right here where the end of this arrow is, there'll be a gap.
Correct.
So you don't have back-to-back fences?
No, no, there is no back-to-back fences.
Sorry, the
in
mouse
that
keeps-
area.
So the existing fence that he has is more where this, like this,
It extends from the yellow.
well, let me
to-
ask the
yes.
question. It's, on this picture, it's more like this reddish line.
Correct.
Close, yes.
His existing fence is?
Yes, close, yes.
So you're not going to completely follow the contours of your existing fence?
No, I don't know that
No, he
would
was
be
gonna
allowed.
make it-
I think he'd
He was
want
bringing it
to.
closer to the house.
I don't know if allowed to get that close, it's solid 6-foot fence. That's why I pushed back.
Okay. You're outside of the vision triangle, as long as you're 20 feet back from that corner.
Yeah.
Which he is.
Yeah,
You are.
that's not a problem.
You know, I walked it today, I'm a civil engineer, like I stated before, off the record, but, you know, I walked it today again, when I looked at the plan, I went, oh, I'm gonna have a hole there. You know, that's mine to fix, I understand that. I'm not asking him to do anything. It's his fence, but if he could move his fence out, whether it be to, I don't know if you'd prefer it where it is now.
But you got to come up to the mic.
Yeah.
What?
Come on up here.
Again, initially when I decided to have a fence, I know it's, when you got close to the road, you might not approve that high solid PVC fence, like zero visibility. But then I did decide this is a good place to put one panel from the house, 8 foot from the house, one panel, and this is perfect size. We make estimate on that. We got some, that's why we decide for that, for this size, and it's good for us. It's like good
I
location.
have not discussed with him very much. I should have. Okay. I don't know what you would prefer, but to me, if it was in the same position as the existing fence, would solve my little problem, which is my problem, I understand. But I think would give a better look than this fence set 17 foot back and only 8 foot off the building. that would be my, I don't think that's.
Well,
the way
Marcy-
fences are normally installed.
If he follows the line that it's on, is that
We shouldn't be commenting.
within code?
Yes, he just has to be a foot off.
What?
He just has to be a foot off the property.
Which is what that fence is.
Right.
Right.
So yes, he can put it where it is
I
now.
don't know if you want to do that, though. That's my question. I don't want to tell.
He gets more backyard, why wouldn't he want, unless it's a cost
It's a
issue?
cost issue.
What's your answer to that?
That's-
Can I leave it open if you approve, how much you're gonna approve from the house to the fence? If you approve that, I need to decide with my wife, with my family, because we agree on that, and plus I need to get new estimate, I need to call fence company to get new estimate. If you said we can have from whatever we have now till whatever I ask, or maybe closer, I need to know, then I'm okay. But I need to decide with my wife. It's like mutual decision right now, but.
So-
I mean, is the additional cost if they allow you to do?
Of course.
Is
One
that-
panel, the 2 panels from plus installation.
Is that a problem to you or not? I don't know.
Again, I need to talk with, it's like, we make decision initial when we submit those permit, okay, how about too close? You guys might not approve that because it's too the road. Maybe this is a good line. That's what we decide. If it's gonna be another, if you say, okay, you can do it from here to here. It's up to
Well, are you, then I thought you were following the original pattern. I'm sorry, Commissioner, if I'm getting to, but it looks like then your new line is going to go right through this bush that's in this picture.
Actually, it's gonna be that out close to the street from the bush.
Aren't we still in the
That
public
tree
hearing?
that's there on the line, if you go back a slide, see that tree?
Which, the tree or the bushy one? The one that,
It's this side of that tree, maybe 2-3 feet.
2-3 feet, yeah.
no, I'm talking about the bush that's right in the bottom corner.
I'm planning to.
So is he going, is that bush now coming outside of his yard?
I'm planning to remove the bush.
What?
I'm planning to remove the bush
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That was,
and tree because the tree is thick. It's they have like bad roots. I'm planning to remove it, and bush is very old. It's like you could see those ugly like branches inside of that. If you look from.
I didn't understand any of that. The tree and the bush are both going?
Yes.
no, the tree is
Tree
staying.
will go out.
That tree
Yeah.
is staying, right?
No, it's gonna go.
No?
Didn't know that.
It's only one tree will stay.
Wait, this big tree's coming down?
Yes.
Do we need approval for that, or is that private property?
In residential lots, I'm pretty sure he can take it down. Is it dying or?
It's dying.
Oh.
You see it's like it's fallen up. If from another side you see entire stall.
Then, yeah, he's allowed to take it down.
I don't want to tell him how to put his fence in by any stretch of imagination. It just, to my personal opinion, would be that fence that's set back, but I understand if it's a cost issue, that's his issue, but a fence set back like that, limits his backyard space, but he has a wife and a child, and cost issues to worry about, so
Thank you.
it just, from my perspective, personally, if it extended all the way out, I think that would be better for my personal situation, but that might not be what he
Well,
needs.
let me ask you this. Could he leave a piece of the old fence in place that would not work?
It goes, what would happen is, it'd be 1.5 panels of the existing fence, or 2 panels, and that fence is in, let's say, 4 shape.
Okay,
That's why he's replacing it.
okay. All right, well,
I just bring it up to see, I had a brief discussion with him, I would prefer him to go further out. That is my personal preference, if he wants to do that. If he doesn't want to do that, I'm fine with the design as is. That's his fence, not mine.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Sprague, anything?
Yes, I do. I was just waiting for the comments to be
Yeah.
cleaned up there. Good evening. I understand your neighbor's concerns with the opening, but it is your yard, and you're free to do what you want to do with it, as long as it's approved. The 8 foot off the building, I was going to ask you about that, but that's already been taken care of. The only thing that I could see that the cheapest way to resolve that would possibly be continuing it to the street, just the back line.
Like replace existing fence?
With new fence,
Just,
you know, past where your corner is going to be.
okay?
I'm not asking, excuse me, sir. I'm
No.
not asking him to do additional work. That's his fence, just for my yard opening. I can take care of it. I'm not-
Yeah, okay.
Understood.
Thank you. Is that something that you would consider?
Can you, I'm sorry, I didn't get this. Can you repeat, please?
The corner of the fence in the back,
Yes, yes.
continuing the back line all the way to the street.
Would not look.
That'd be like what, two panels?
More like three panels.
Two or three?
Two, 3 panels. And
Too expensive?
it's probably one panel it's gonna cost like probably another $700 or something, because PVC 6 foot.
I understand.
And it's not very pleasant. I would say we have a fence, and all of a sudden a couple of panels just stuck from that. Because initially, when I applied for permit, you have the inspector say you have to push back to building line. That would look completely. That's why I applied for a variance. For this variance. But this line is does not. It's the fence is stuck. It's not pleasing. It's not pleasing at all.
That's all I have, thank you.
Commissioner Blanova?
I'm so confused. So for example, if I'm driving from a Willowbrook Drive, passing this gentleman's house, his fence will go like that, and then it will be caved in? That's how it's gonna be? It's not gonna follow the same fence line as it right now?
Correct.
It will be a gap.
It's going to follow the yellow line.
Okay.
So it's going to be, how many feet from the sidewalk?
8. Oh.
No,
that's
about
17.
15. 17. It's 17. It's like
Two panels,
three panels.
so 4 panels total.
Panels.
Okay. I don't have any other questions. I just wanted to clarify that.
Okay. Commissioner Yednick, anything else?
Yeah, we covered, my initial question was following the existing fence. Now I understand what you're doing. The other question I was wondering, I did drive out and take a look. It's hard to, Google Maps doesn't find your house very well. It throws you off. But anyway, what's going on between Lot 84 and Lot 85 then? Because you basically have, between those two lots, there's a very similar fence that's existing, so you're not replacing along that property line?
Lot 85, it's my neighbor fence. It's gonna stay as the way it is.
That's the neighbor's actual fence.
Actual,
It's not his fence.
it's not my fence.
But
It's
it
an
looked,
older wood fence.
the material looked the same though, I thought, or is it
Yeah,
slight?
it's a typical picket, panel fence, but that is the neighbor's actual.
Okay, I was, okay, so, because it also looked like between your two lots, it looked like there were two fences. No, there's not a double fence?
There's the offsetting panels on one side. There's one fence, but the panels are staggered, so
Oh,
if he puts a fence in on his lot, I can't have the backside by rules, you know. So he'd either have to have the backside of the fence, the ugly side, let's say, or you do a panel here and another panel and offset, and so both sides are good looking.
So basically, you have no fence, but you get the benefit of right now you have a 6 foot, I think, between the two properties.
I have 6 foot just in the front between my house and the neighbor.
No, I'm talking about between 83 and 84. It's only his fence, okay.
That's
All right. All right, no, I was thinking that you would go to between 84 and 85. I didn't realize that that portion of the fence is your neighbor's fence. It almost seems like all the neighbors ought to get together and work it out and do some kind of cost sharing. I mean, and clean it up, because I do like the vinyl fence, and it looks like you're using a good product, and everybody could benefit from some cleaning up. I guess then the other question I had, I guess in your submittal, just so I understand, that you're using this estate combo design, is it going to be a two-tone like this, or is it all going to be?
No, it's going to be white.
Well, it's all going to be white.
Only, yes.
Okay.
And it's going to be keystone rails. You can see on the bottom right side.
Yeah, down here. It's not going to have this lattice
No,
on
it's
top.
going to be solid.
So this
like
is stayed
yes. The
with
only
this
rails,
keystone?
the rails would have special texture, like a little bit. If you can zoom out, you can.
The caps are going to be similar to this estate combo picture, or no?
Caps would be New England, one below, if you see. Yeah, like this one, New England, I think.
I don't-
Yeah, probably it's estate they have. In smaller picture, they have those.
Okay. All right. That's all I had. I just needed clarification. I was going to ask clarification on the boundaries, but I think we've covered all that. Thank you, Commissioner.
Commissioner Thompson.
Hi there. I do have to say, I do like the idea of the fence line continuing on, even though it's, not part of your original plan. But if we could put something in there that if, I know you need to discuss things with your wife, my husband would have to do the same. So if you do discuss things and that does make sense, I would like to have, I don't know if there's some way that we could word it to where if he does want to go in that direction, that we allow him to put it where the fence line is now.
Well, and I don't think either one of them wants to go that far, right? Just,
I'm not asking him to spend any more money.
no, I understand.
Or even close to it, because I think just as you look at as you're going to be looking at that, driving down that road, I do think appearance-wise, it would look nicer if the fence line matched up. Because as Commissioner Blanova mentioned, you're going to have that, it's going to jut in, and it's just going to look a little bit off, I think. So if he would like to do that, I would like to agree to let him do so.
So we could approve it with the option to move the fence closer to
Yes.
within 1 foot of the property line?
Yeah, that
I think we just said
that
follow
would
the
be-
existing, he can either follow the existing fence line or follow
Yeah.
the line that
Yeah.
he's proposing.
Or somewhere in between.
Right.
Yeah, I think that would be,
Because he's getting the variance to move within, so.
That's fine with me, then that leaves it as his decision, where I'm not influencing his cost. That's not I would feel guilty doing that.
Maybe you could help him on the cost.
If he chooses, and we can discuss that, if he chooses to, move the fence out, that gives him more usable backyard. But if he chooses to put it where it's shown on the plan currently, I'm okay. I will probably put some bushes in there just to seal the opening, so that it's not open at this point in time. I don't think continuing my fence in there the way it looks would be appropriate.
yeah, I mean, I definitely think any closer out to the normal fence line would, for appearance sakes, would look better, so that's all I have.
Commissioner Creech.
I have nothing, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, my question was what you were gonna do with the big bush at the back of the yard, but that's been answered, you're gonna take it out completely. I hate to see the tree go if it's still decent, but if you
Dying.
say it's dying, that's your decision. So I think we can word this so that you have some flexibility. You can get another quote to see what it would take to do an additional panel at each end of that side yard, and talk with your neighbor and see, how close you are to your cost now. I don't know, maybe 2 panels wouldn't be that much more.
Before.
And this is not that rare
Maybe six.
occurrence around town. My yard has the same problem, so. So, do we have conditions on this?
I put the petitioner, well, it's a recommendation or a condition. So the petitioner may extend the fence to the east within 1 foot of the property line if so desired, or establish the fence somewhere in between.
Sounds
Is
good
that
to me.
clear enough, Mallory? Or do we need to be a little more technical on that?
Can you read it one more time?
The petitioner may extend the fence to the east within 1 foot of the property line if so desired, or establish the fence somewhere in between.
That 1 foot.
I don't think-
Is the one, the part that's shown.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that you only need you don't need that last part.
We don't need the list.
Yeah, could you say up to
So-
1
Okay,
foot?
up to, yeah.
You don't need that last part, that makes it more confusing.
So it would be approved as presented, but they have the option of going as far as 1 foot
With- yeah,
from the
right.
property line.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, got that worded? All right, anything else from the commission? See nothing, so I will entertain a motion to approve docket number 2020-15.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Creech and Commissioner Thompson?
Commissioner Creech,
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson,
Yes.
Commissioner Bruno, yes, Commissioner Sprague,
Yes.
Commissioner Yedenek,
Yes.
and Chairman Johnson.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right,
So this will go, when's the next board meeting? When's the next board meeting? It will be August 3rd.
Yeah.
So this will proceed forward to the village board on August 3rd. So I'll send you an email tomorrow with,
and then by then you could get your quote and,
It's going to be another,
so you have to go to the village board to get the final approval.
okay,
yeah, because
We
this
can-
is a variation,
understand.
we only can recommend.
And do I have to be on this meeting?
What was it?
Do I have to be on this, on second meeting? On
Yes.
August? Okay, August 3rd. Okay,
Yeah, I can call you tomorrow. We can talk.
okay, yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, and good luck with everything. And now I need a motion to close this public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I heard a whole bunch. Let's give it to Creech and Sprague.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You don't need to do both.
Oh, that's right, we're
No,
back
we're all
together
in
now.
person.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Next up, we have approval of minutes of the regular meeting of June 24th, 2020, including findings of fact for docket number 2020-7. Any comments? If not, I'd like a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Did you get who that was? It was, who was that? Sprague? It's too
Sprague-
hard to
Sprague
tell
and
in this
Yednak.
booth.
Sprague and Yednak.
Sprague and Yednak.
The call of roll,
Yeah,
or all in
yeah,
favor?
let's do a roll call.
Okay, Commissioner Sprague
Yes.
and Commissioner Yedenek,
Yes.
Commissioner Bruno, yes, even though I wasn't there. Commissioner Thompson,
Yes.
Commissioner Creech,
Yes.
and Chairman Johnson.
Yes.
Thank you.
Other business. Let's start with Ms. Nyes. Anything?
I just wanted to mention that instead of the next meeting on August 12th, it's going to be a joint meeting with the village board at Public Works facility.
Will we get a reminder email on that?
Sure.
Just so I don't
Yeah.
go to the wrong place.
And I think there's pizza served or some sort of food, but I don't know, maybe not this year?
With the COVID, we can't do pizzas, so it's going to be a
that's right.
boxed meal of some form.
Okay, well, some food. Okay.
That's our meeting on the
That
12th?
COVID ruined everything.
You said that's our meeting on the 12th?
Yes.
Yes.
So the next meeting for the Plan Commission here will be on the 26th.
And sometimes if they're serving food, they start a little earlier.
Okay.
So that they can start the meeting at the regular
Yeah.
time. So just keep that in mind and we'll get the invite out.
Yep, that's all I had.
All right. Mr. Creech.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's great to be back here in person. I would like to know what's going on with some of the items that we were discussing prior to this COVID incident, the trash enclosures, fences, signs, issues. I know that kind of got put on the back burner. Just wondering where we're at with that.
Yeah, so trash enclosures will be coming to you within probably in the beginning of September, since we're not going to be here beginning of August, second meeting, so probably beginning of September. And then the signs we had initially talked about just working on something with the electronic
Yes.
signs at first.
Well,
And then
It's-
we're doing a full overhaul of the sign code for January 1st. But I know initially we had wanted to do something with just the electronic, but I don't know now that we've been set back so far, if we could still do something, if it's worth it.
Either one, I mean, still just.
You know, just do pass, look at just that one section.
it's just
for-
the signs, or are you talking signs and fences?
Oh, I'm just talking signs, sorry. I
Okay.
switched to signs.
Trash enclosures are going to come up. Signs are going to be in September,
Trash
possibly.
enclosures are going to be September. Signs, we could bring up just the electronic message centers, maybe at the second meeting in September, but then we're going to talk about all signs
Oh, okay,
hopefully for a January rollout.
Oh,
for next year.
Yeah,
And fence is
Fences.
included in that rollout as well? I got a list of about 10 other things I'd like to discuss, but,
I
I
don't
mean,
know,
if
did
we're
we lump-
if we're changing stuff up, I think that maybe we all could make some recommendations.
okay, I'm not sure we specifically talked about fences on their own. We had only talked about them within trash enclosures. I mean, since I've been here.
Well, we have been kind of going back and forth on fences for commercial properties and residential properties.
So that's probably, I mean, that's a different section, but, I mean, I'll take a look at it, and then, but we have everything ready for the trash enclosures, so
Okay.
then maybe based on that discussion, that'll help us figure out what we want to do with the fence.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Thank you, appreciate that. Thank you, Mr.
oh,
Chairman.
you didn't want to go through your whole list?
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
not tonight.
Commissioner Thompson.
Nothing for me, thanks.
Commissioner Yednek.
The only thing I had, and I sent Marcy a note on this, wondering what happened with the big spa at Milwaukee and Dundee, but she didn't know, so I'm curious. I was hoping, looks like the property's still available, but,
Yeah, they have not submitted anything.
no, okay. That's all I have then, thanks.
Commissioner Sprague.
It's great to be back in the boardroom. I have nothing. Thank you.
Commissioner Blanova.
Most I'm happy to be here, that we're all back together here instead of Zoom meetings, and I have nothing else to add.
All right. I I really had nothing, but if you weren't already introduced to Ross Clicker, our new Director of Community Development. He's our guest tonight, and welcome to say anything you want.
I just wanted to thank you all for your dedication and service to the community on this. I know you're in great hands with Marcy as the staff liaison. You know, I am the new director, but obviously still stay working with Marcy and Steve as your contacts, as your primary contacts. Like I said, you're in great hands. I look forward to getting to know you all better and working with you on a few issues. I do appreciate, I know I've been sending a few emails or Marcy's been sending a few emails out on my request regarding various items, and I appreciate all the feedback we've been getting. It's really been helping me get acclimated to the community and also to help us as we move forward with making decisions on some of those issues. So thank you, and I look forward to working with you all in the future.
Thank you, and welcome aboard. Mallory, anything from you?
Nothing from me.
Everything's cool in the legal department, huh?
Yes.
Okay. All right, then I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Thompson and Brigg, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.
Ross, you picked a good one to go.